Hey guys, welcome back to Just Another Gaming Site, and today I have for you the review of a brand new gaming laptop out from Lenovo, the Lenovo Y520. Now, I've spent a considerable amount of time with this little powerhouse, and till date I will never be able to forget how awestruck I was by the sheer look of the device when I first unboxed it. I mean, for an entry-level gaming laptop, this thing looks killer. The top cover has a sort of a carbon fiber finish to it, and it does a pretty good job at repelling fingerprints. The hinges feel solid and are definitely a step up from the Y50, and the overall build quality of the device isn't bad at all. I mean, there's a little flex towards the center of the keyboard, but at that point I was literally just looking for something to crib about, and is really a non-issue. Flipping the top open, you see the screen. It's not the best of displays, with a color gamut that actually leaves quite a bit to be desired. The RGB coverage is about 65% and the Adobe RGB rating is 49%. However, it is sufficiently bright and has great viewing angles owing to the fact that it is a 1080p IPS display. The speakers are a bit hit and miss though. While I love the orientation of the speakers, which is made so that while playing and consuming media, it seemed as though they were blasting sound directly into my ears, they were a bit tinny. And by that, I mean the bass was almost absolutely non-existent. I couldn't even fix it even after fiddling around with the EQ settings. So there's definitely some room for improvement there. The keyboard is pretty much standard for what one comes to expect from entry-level gaming keyboards and gaming laptops. I mean, it's decent to type on, it's comfortable. There's, I think, a 1.2mm actuation distance. So it's a pretty decent typing experience with a red backlight and red accents. It looks kind of cool. However, the one thing that did stand out for me was the numpad orientation. I have never seen a numpad oriented in quite such a manner, and for those of you who are heavy numpad users like myself, it will take you a little while to get used to. On the flip side, the mouse trackpad basically is again hit or miss. While the trackpad in and of itself feels smooth as glass, but it is a plastic coating, some kind of coating material, I'm not really sure what, and is pretty good with gestures and tracking and all that good stuff. The buttons are absolutely horrible. They're mushy, they're not clicky, and they have this weird hinge towards the middle, so you have to press right at the edge for the click to register. So more than once I found myself reaching for my mouse even while just casually scrolling or surfing the web, which in and of itself is a pretty bad indicator towards how horrible an experience the entire trackpad mouse feature was for myself. The port selection, on the other hand, is a whole different story. It's pretty robust. There's an HDMI port, an SD card reader, a couple of USB 3 ports, a USB 2 port, an audio jack, and a USB-C port. No Thunderbolt port here, but at this price point, it's rather ludicrous to expect a Thunderbolt port to be included in the laptop. The battery life, though, pretty bad. It has a 45 watt-hour cell, so right off the bat, it's a pretty underpowered battery. I got around 50 minutes of life from the battery while gaming and just over 3.5 hours on casual use. So not the best battery out there, hands down, and I hope future iterations of the laptop see a bigger battery being placed, or at least the option to upgrade the battery for those willing to shell out maybe a few extra bucks. I mean, it's totally worth it to have a bigger battery on a laptop. Well, now that all the physical aspects are out of the way, let's sink our teeth into the game performance. Backing a 1050 Ti, there is ample horsepower here to play with, so I'm really expecting this entry-level gaming laptop to actually spit out some decent numbers. So let's jump right into the benchmarks and see how this bad boy performs in games.
Jack it up.
So all in all, the performance of the Y520 is quite good for the price point and the specs. You're getting decent build quality, a good keyboard, a decent trackpad with horrible buttons, and a monitor that's just about passable. And all this you can have for a little over 90,000 for the base model, which features, I think, an i5 processor, 7th generation Intel, and a little upwards of a lakh for the i7 variant. The gaming performance on both these variants ought to be negligible. However, the difference in processors you will start to notice once you move into more computational heavy features or more CPU intensive applications. For editing, this is a pretty decent machine, for light editing that is. However, I would suggest you swap out the monitor and just basically attach an external monitor with a better color gamut. Frankly, I have never been one to advocate gaming laptops. However, now that I have been using one for the past so many days, I can see why these devices have carved out such a niche market for themselves. I mean, if you're a person whose job keeps you on the road for a prolonged period of time and you enjoy some quality gaming on the go, then definitely go for the Lenovo Y520. It is a huge step up from the Y50, and I think given the competition in this price bracket, this is probably the most value for money gaming laptop that you can purchase. Well, that's all for this video, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, do hit that like button and remember to subscribe for more awesome gaming tech content and, well, regular live stream. This has been Archishman from Just Another Gaming Site, signing off.